Nutrients for osteoporosis?
There are at least 13 nutrients that affect our risk of bone fracture and osteoporosis. So let's hone in on just three of them. Of course, if you're interested in all 13, you can check out my Nutrients for Bone Health and Osteoporosis ebook available on my Patreon. But for this video, let's look at vitamin C, vitamin K, and why calcium by itself isn't enough to support bone health. Higher dietary vitamin C is well known to reduce risk of osteoporosis. In fact, a 2018 systematic review and meta-analysis showed that higher dietary vitamin C was associated with a 33% reduced risk of osteoporosis, a 26% lower risk of hip fracture, and higher bone density in the femoral neck and lumbar spine. And a 2019 meta-analysis that specifically looked at intake of vitamin C-rich foods showed that the people who ate the most foods abundant in vitamin C had a 34% reduced risk of hip fracture and a 34% reduced risk of osteoporosis. Vitamin K is also super important for bone health. A 2022 study in older women showed that those with the highest amounts of dietary vitamin K had a 41% reduced risk of bone fracture compared to those women with the lowest dietary vitamin K. And a 2000 study in elderly people showed that higher dietary vitamin K reduced risk of hip fracture by 65% compared to the people with low dietary vitamin K. Now, we all know that calcium is important for our bones, but studies have shown that the synergy between calcium and other nutrients is really important for supporting bone health. For example, a 2021 meta-analysis showed that it was the combination of calcium and vitamin K that best supported bone mineral density. And a 2016 meta-analysis showed that the combination of calcium and vitamin D is what reduced risk of hip fracture by 30% and all bone fractures by 15%. Now, I know it's tempting to hear about these three nutrients and run out and want to buy supplements. But remember, this is just 3 out of at least 13 nutrients that are important for supporting bone health, which is why Nutrivore is such a powerful approach, because the goal is to get all of the nutrients our bodies need from the foods we eat. If you're interested in learning more about Nutrivore, I suggest grabbing a copy of my book, Nutrivore. And if you're interested in learning more about all 13 nutrients that support bone health and reduce risk of osteoporosis, then remember to check out my Nutrients for Bone Health and Osteoporosis ebook exclusive to my Patreon.